And the winner of a $10,000 scholarship is Craterliner.
Well, there it was, the moment that Bree Boyce became South Carolina's queen. And for this particular queen, it really wasn't the usual ride at the top of the pageant world here in the Palmetto State. You see, it was only a few years before she was a 17-year-old girl with a mission to lose 100 pounds. And she did. This morning she joins us. Good morning.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Wow. A lot of work up to that second, right?
It definitely was. It was a lot of work, a lot of dedication and perseverance. A lot of people think, it's just, the short-term goal that you have, but it's really just a lifestyle for me and something I've really had to obtain for, since I won Miss South Carolina, and 2 years before I won Miss South Carolina is when I started my journey. And
sure.
It's just been a crazy whirlwind.
Well, let's talk about that. A lot of us, I guess I say fight the battle of the bulge, but it's true. I'm not sure I've shared it with a lot of folks at home, but I also lost about 100 pounds, right about the same age, about 15, 16. I was a fairly rotund young chap. So, I understand being a teenager and being, in that particular physical way, it does create its own issues.
There's a lot of pressure whenever you're a teenager. There's a lot of bullying going on that you see today, a lot of suicide rates going up crazy.
Right.
And, it's a lot of times people look at people and they see that they're not the same as others, and it's just all about loving yourself and taking care of your body. And I really try and stress to young girls, and especially in high schools, that it's not about the number on the scale or the size in your jeans, but it only matters that you're taking care of yourself, you're eating the right foods, and you're working out, and you're loving your body.
Sure.
And that's what truly counts.
Well, take a look at 17. We've got a few pictures of her. 17 years old, give or take. There you are. I assume you're the one on the left. Certainly, very pretty girl, no doubt.
Thank you.
But so that's what you see in the mirror every day, and you just say, you know what, I want to change this, right?
Well, it wasn't necessarily how I looked. I obviously knew that I was overweight and needed to lose the weight, but I had a lot of health issues as well. My knees started to hurt, and I went to a doctor, and he basically looked at me and he said, the weight's got to come off.
Right. Now, you were 234?
I was 234 pounds.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I've lost over 100 pounds. And it's, it's just all about that dedication. And if you can find that, that's your key.
How long did it take you? So, the doc says, Bree, you got to drop some weight. That's the bottom line. What did you do? Did you just go to the gym? Did you stop eating? For me, I stopped eating. I was eating so much as like a 15-year-old kid living with my grandmother that it just was on. So my first step was I just stopped eating quite as much, and that helped a good bit. What was your journey?
Well, it's not about looking at it, whenever I've failed so many times on these fad diets growing up.
Right.
I would, say, oh, I've got to lose over 100 pounds, but it's not necessarily about that. It's about setting a realistic goal. And so my first goal was to lose 5 pounds, and that was it. And once I reached that 5 pounds, I said, I'm going to lose another 5 pounds. And you just keep setting those goals for yourself. And I set goals for myself every day still.
Had you struggled with weight through your childhood and adolescence?
Around the age of 6 and 7, I started to see the weight gain, and I was different. I'm the baby of 4.
Right.
They all were thin and active, and I just had my dad's genes, I guess. And I started to see the weight come on more and more, and it definitely was not eating the right things, but my family we all learned together that we need to look at the foods that we eat and what we put into our bodies. So we just did it all together.
Well, guys, we're going to come back with Bree in a few minutes and continue the journey from all the way from 17 years old to now, and what you're doing and writing a book and motivational speaking and all that cool stuff. So we're going to come back with more of Bree's story here in just a little while. Stay with us. Good Day's coming back.
The winner of a $10,000 scholarship.
Ah, yes. Here it comes.
Is
Never get sick of watching this. I bet you don't either, do you?
No, I don't. Actually, I watch it all the time.
Bree,
I'm like, am I going to survive? Am I going to pass out right there?
Bree Boyce, crowned as Miss South Carolina 2011, going on to compete anyway in Miss America. Now, your story, and we talked a few minutes ago, just joining us, you have an amazing journey. At 17, you weigh 234 pounds. 2.5 short years later, you were the queen of South Carolina.
Yeah.
That story actually got you all sorts of network interest, right? You did like Good Morning America, Today, Inside Edition. You made the rounds.
It was crazy. After I won Miss South Carolina, Steve and Ashley, who are the directors of the Miss South Carolina organization, were, hounded with phone calls,
Right.
you know, from different networks wanting me to come to the show. And
great.
so the next week I was flying out to New York, and I was on Good Morning America, the Today Show, and then we got a phone call that afternoon, and they were like, "Oh, well, you're filling in for Barbara Walters on The View." And I was like, "Okay, stop playing jokes." So then that day I went and filmed for The View and got to meet all the ladies on there. It was awesome.
That's
So,
great. How has the response been? I mean, you must be able to, I mean, you inspire me as well. I mean, like I said, I battled weight problem my whole life as well, but you must be a great inspiration for younger girls who are 17, 18, maybe they don't like what they see, you know, they don't realize what's inside, they're looking at the outside. They've got to be able to look up to you because you're a real person. You're not like Jane Fonda doing, you know, you're like real.
I'm real. I'm as real as it gets.
You know?
But yeah, you know, I've had an amazing amount of young girls that come to me or email me or Facebook me. You know,
Right.
you can do all this. You can actually go to my website, which is breeboyce.com, send me an email, or just, you know, simply add me on Facebook
Sure.
as a friend. I mean,
And you
I'm-
respond because that's how
Yeah.
I got you. I got your email on Twitter, and I said, I'm just going to write to her, and
I'm
you
pretty
wrote
quick
back.
to respond, yeah. So, and I actually have a few little girls around the ages of 6 and 7 and 8 that I'm pen pals with. So it's really cute. You know, they're the one's from Michigan, one's from Massachusetts. So it's all across the United States, and it's just so humbling whenever I get these, you know, notes or phone calls or emails from these young girls that look up to me.
Now, I can speak for myself, and it is a constant battle. Is it for you? I mean, you still have got to, it's not like you can now sit back and go to McDonald's and chow down 6 or 7 Big Macs. It's probably still a daily struggle for you to stay where you, all the hard work you
Yeah, I get up every day at 6 o'clock and I run. I go to school. I'm a full-time student now in summer school, which is a lot of fun.
Right.
Trying to finish up and get my degree with a scholarship that I won from the South Carolina Miss America organizations. But, you know, it's an everyday battle. You have to really schedule out your life pretty much.
Sure.
And a lot of people say, does it get tiring? Does it get hectic? And yeah, it does. But, you know, everything in life is, you know, going to be hard.
Right, it's a
And
challenge.
and if you don't work for it, it's not worth it. So every day I get up and I, you know, I work out and I go to school and I just have this routine that I've become used to. And, you know, it's just a lifestyle. It's not about being on this crazy diet. And if you want a piece of cake, have it every now and again and run it off the next day.
She says yes to cake. All right, well, here's a challenge for you this morning.
Okay.
Queen of South Carolina 2011,
Oh,
Bree
goodness.
Boyce. We call it the cheese quiz.
Okay.
Call it the cheese quiz. You knew it's coming, Janet Parker. You're counting, right? This is how the game is played. You got 15 seconds to name as many cheeses as you can. As many
Oh my
cheeses as you
gosh.
can in 15 seconds. That is the cheese quiz with 2011 Miss South
Oh,
Carolina,
my
Bree
goodness.
Boyce. Here we go. You have 15 seconds beginning right now.
Well, we're going to start off with Brie. Provolone, cheddar, American, Swiss, Gouda, is that it?
I'll give it to you. 4 seconds.
Queso.
That's time.
Okay. That works too. You know, I had to throw a little.
I'll give you queso. We'll give you queso.
7.
All right,
7.
there it is. We're going to link to your website. You're a motivational speaker. You have a book coming out. So much stuff. We got to
Yeah.
go to break, but so much stuff. Bree, thank you so much for coming in and
Thank
joining
you for having me.
us. And at WACH.com, we'll put links to her and her story and her journey. You truly are an amazing inspiration.
Well,
You
thank
really
you.
are. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us this morning. Plus, she got 7 on the cheese quiz. Just saying. Stick around, because I see Mr. Lampkin in the house. You know what that means. We're nowhere near done. You better saddle up, because...